Hello, everyone, and welcome to Daily Grace with Pastor James. So glad you're joining me in this part 2. Thank you so much for joining me. Last week, we started with how to rekindle the romance in your marriage. And we went ahead to look at what Jesus himself told the church in Revelation 2, verses 4 to 5. He said, when they were getting cold, he said, remember. In other words, remember the old things. Remember those things that you were doing. Remember the good times. And the second thing he said, repent. Change your ways. Do again those good things that you were doing so that that fire would come up again. And then the third thing he said, do. So remember, repent, and do was what we looked at last week. And we also looked at the 5 actions that causes romance in your marriage. These are the actions that causes romance in the first place. And these are the same action that will rekindle or bring back the spark in your marriage. And then we looked at them. They are attention, affirmation, affection, adventure, agreement. Last week, we looked at attention. Attention, you need to pay attention. Imagine when you're talking to somebody and the person is all over the place. It's not looking at you eyeball to eyeball. That's not attention. And of course, you will know that this person does not even want to listen to you. So we looked at all those last week. And then today we want to look at the second one, which is affirmation. Affirmation, the quickest way for you to bring back the spark, for you to rekindle the romance in your marriage, is for you to affirm your spouse, is for you to begin to admire their strength, focus on their strength instead of focusing on their weakness. So look at their strength and start telling them about their strength. 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 11 says, therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. Everybody wants to be admired. Everybody wants to be appreciated. Everybody wants to be looked up to. Now, let's take it this way. How did you win your spouse? How did you guys get to, love each other? It's because of admiration. You admired your wife, you admired your husband, you admired your wife, and then through that admiration, you guys came together. That is how we fall in love, and that is the thing that we need to do, that affirmation, to rekindle, to bring back that spark that we are looking for in our marriage. So verbalize it every single day. Now, I know it is not everybody that wants to start saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. But then there are still other things that you can say. Just telling your spouse about your feeling. I appreciate you. I'm so glad that we are together. I'm so grateful that I'm with you. You are everything to me. Just keep appreciating your spouse. There's power in spoken words. And when you say this over and over again, even if you don't feel like it, that saying will bring back that feeling of loving, and then you bring back the spark in your marriage. There is a story about a lady. This lady has been going through torments, through torture. And of course, she went to her lawyer and told her lawyer, I want to divorce my husband. And she said, I don't just want to divorce him, I want to hurt him badly because he had ignored me for too long. Then the lawyer said, go back, and while I am preparing the papers, do these things. And he said, compliment him every day. Tell him how great a person he is. Tell him how good he is and what you appreciate about him. Build him up so well. Then when I've finished preparing the paper, you come to me, you sign the paper, and then we'll serve him the notice, and then we'll dump him like a hot potato. And that will hurt him really, really bad. Then the lady said, yes, that's fine. And then the lady went and started doing exactly what the man asked her to do. Each morning they wake up, she'll compliment the man, tell the man how good he is, the things that he's been doing, how handsome he is, etc., etc. And they just went on and on and on and on. And after a month, the lady went back to a lawyer and she said, I want to withdraw the divorce paper. Why? The lawyer said. And she said, because we are both falling in love again. Wow. That is the power of words. That is the power of spoken word. That is the power of affirmation. If you keep affirming your spouse, if you keep affirming each other, you will bring back that sparkle in your marriage. And then the third thing is affection. Now, this is something that most of us, especially the men, we don't want to do. But affection, especially the women, they need affection. During courtship, you showed so much affection, and that is why she accepted. That's why she's with you. But immediately we finish the marriage, that affection just dies down completely, and it becomes a different ball game. And the only time, especially the men, most of us want to show affection is when we are ready to do the job, to have sex. And that is not what the women want. They just want affection, affection that will not even lead to that all the time. And if you are affectionate with your wife all the time, you will bring back that sparkle. You will be able to rekindle the romance in your marriage. And the ladies, they need that. We need to give them. It could be hugging all the time. It could be kissing all the time. It could just be touch all the time. But that affection, because the thing is, if you starve them of that affection and somebody else give it to them outside, you don't know what would happen. We are all vulnerable. We are all prone. So we need to be able to do these things to our spouse, to be able to stay as Christians together and to rekindle that spark again in our romance. 1 Corinthians 7:3 says, let the husband render to his wife the affection due to her. So even the Bible knows that as a man, you should give that affection to your wife. You should give that affection to your wife. They need it so much, they need it even more than the men. Ephesians 5:28, we all know this. So husbands ought to love their own wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. The only way that women hear and know about love is the way you show them affection. Thank you so much for listening to me in this part 2 of how to rekindle the romance in your marriage. We'll continue with part 3 next week. And if this has blessed you, please do share with others. And if you have not watched the part 1, please watch the part 1 so that you can understand and follow this series. Once again, my name is Pastor James Egodibe. I pastor RCCG Solid Rock Parish, Derby, 55 Woods Lane, DE22 3UD. If you are looking for a Bible-believing church, we have wonderful brethren who will welcome you with an open arms. Please do come and worship with us. We're expecting you. Thank you and God bless you. Bye.